podcast. So, numismatics, right? It's way more than just collecting old coins.
Absolutely. It's a deep dive into the history of money, really. Every form of payment, not just coins, yeah?
Exactly. Think banknotes, tokens like even those old transportation tokens or casino chips metals. It's a whole world.
It's like holding history in your hand. A Roman emperor's denarius, a medieval Prague groschen. Each tells a story.
Fascinating, isn't it? And the stories these coins tell? Political propaganda, economic booms and busts.
Oh, yeah. A debased coin? Screams economic trouble. Like, we're cutting corners here, folks.
Exactly. And the artistry, the technology, you can see the progression from crude hammering to sophisticated minting techniques.
It's amazing how much you can glean from a single coin. Like finding a Roman coin in India, boom. Ancient trade route revealed.
Right? Or religious symbols, cultural motifs. A tiny window into a civilization's soul.
And sometimes, the only record we have of lost rulers or forgotten cities, it's all there, etched in metal.
Now, let's talk coin collecting terminology. Obverse, reverse, edge. It's a whole new language.
Yeah, the edge. Who knew there were so many variations? Plain, reeded, lettered.
Decorated. It's about more than just looks. It's about security, preventing counterfeiting, you know?
Right? Then there's the legend. All those grand titles and inscriptions. Like Maximilian, by the grace of God, Roman Emperor ever Augustus, king of, the whole shebang.
Huh, exactly. And don't forget the mint mark. Tiny little clue telling you exactly where that coin was born.
So, grading, it sounds subjective. How do you maintain consistency?
Well, there's systems, right? The Czech/Slovak system, the Sheldon scale, they aim for objectivity, but there's always a bit of art to it.
I see. From perfect mint state to barely recognizable, there's a whole spectrum.
And speaking of preserving those precious coins, let's talk storage. Big no-no, PVC. That green slime is a coin's worst enemy.
Yeah, definitely want to avoid that. Mylar sleeves, hard plastic capsules, those are your friends. And a stable environment, right? Not too humid, not too dry.
Absolutely. And for the love of all that is numismatic, don't clean your coins.
Unless you're a professional, right? Leave the patina. It's a sign of authenticity, of age. It tells a story, too.
So, we were talking about preserving coins, right? Don't clean them. But what about grading? These systems. Check. Sheldon, it can get confusing.
Yeah, totally. Like, a 1 in the Czech system is top-notch, but a 1 on the Sheldon scale is, well, the opposite. Almost junk.
Huh, exactly. So, you gotta know what system you're dealing with. Czech/Slovak, 1 of 5, 1 being the best. Uncirculated, excellent, and so on, down to heavily worn.
And the Sheldon? 1 to 70, 70 being perfect. Mint state, about uncirculated.
Extremely fine, very fine. It's a whole language. But why the different systems, though?
Well, the Czech system, it's like geared more towards European, particularly Czech and Slovak numismatics, right? While Sheldon's is like the international standard.
Gotcha. So, knowing both is key, especially if you're buying internationally.
Absolutely. Now, storage, this is where things get serious. PVC, the dreaded green slime. Big no-no.
Yeah, stay away from that stuff. Ruins your coins. Mylar sleeves, hard plastic capsules. Those are your friends.
Right? And the environment matters too. Humidity, temperature, gotta keep things stable. Like a museum almost.
Exactly. No attics, no basements. And forget about cleaning your coins, unless...
Unless you're a trained professional dealing with, like, serious restoration. Otherwise, leave that patina alone. It's part of the coin story. And the value.
So, silver, it's often called the poor man's gold, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. A bit condescending, maybe?
It can be, yeah, but it also speaks to accessibility. Like, gold can be pricey, but silver? Much easier to get your hands on, especially if you're just starting out.
Makes sense. Dollar cost averaging, that works well with silver, right? Small, regular purchases.
Exactly. Now, what kind of silver are we talking about? Stacking, as they call it. Government minted bullion coins, those are the big ones.
Oh, like those maple leafs? Super shiny.
Yeah, those. Philharmonics, Silver Eagles, Britannias, pure silver, guaranteed weight, internationally recognized.
Easy to trade, I imagine.
Very, but they come with a premium. Minting costs, Then there's silver rounds, privately minted.
So, not legal tender?
Nope, but often cheaper than bullion coins. Plus, cool designs. Some even mimic famous coins. Right? But buyer beware. Quality can vary. Stick to reputable mints.
Counterfeits, that's a worry, right?
It can be. Now, silver bars, slick key, those are for the serious stacker. Big chunks of silver. Lowest premium, usually.
Efficient, yeah? Maximize your silver per dollar.
Exactly. From tiny little gram bars to massive 1,000-ounce Comex bars.
Whoa. 1,000 ounces? That's a lot of silver.
It is. Not exactly pocket change. And then there's junk silver. Old, circulated coins. Mostly valuable for their silver content.
Like those old American dimes and quarters? Pre-1965, right?
Yeah, those. A bit worn, maybe, but historic, and often a good deal. Finally, Czech National Bank commemorative coins.
Those are collectible, aren't they?
They are. But the standard quality ones, you can stack those too. A bit of a hybrid approach. So, purity, weight, premiums, this is where it gets technical. Purity, fineness. 0.999 is the standard for most bullion.
3 nines, right? I've heard that.
Exactly. 0.9999, even pure, 4 nines. Then you have 0.925 sterling silver. Jewelry, cutlery.
And some Czech commemorative coins.
Right. 0.900, 0.835, 0.800, all sorts of purities out there. Gotta know what you're buying. Then wait. Troy ounce, that's the standard. 31.1 grams.
Not the regular ounce, though. Important distinction.
Absolutely. Grams, kilograms, those are used too, especially here in Europe. Spot price, that's the live market price per troy ounce.
Always fluctuating, right?
Always. Check Kitco, Bloomberg, stay informed. And finally, premiums. That's what you pay over the spot price.
Minting costs, dealer markup, all that fun stuff.
So, premiums, right? Smaller silver items, like those tiny fractional bars, they often carry a heftier premium.
Yeah, makes sense. Fixed production costs spread over less silver, right?
Exactly. And government bullion coins? They usually command a higher premium too. Brand recognition, legal tender status, it all adds up.
Oh, and those proof coins, special editions, forget about it. Sky-high premiums.
Absolutely. And remember, market conditions play a role too. High demand, tight supply. Premiums can jump even if the spot price is flat.
So, if you're just stacking for weight, larger bars are the way to go, huh?
Generally, yeah. Or junk silver, if you can find it. But if you're building a Czech-focused collection, those NB commemorative coins might be worth the extra premium.
Good point. Now, legal stuff. VAT on silver in the Czech Republic. Ouch.
Yeah, 21%. Unlike gold, which is often VAT exempt, silver gets hit hard. Makes a big difference to the overall cost.
So, factor that in. And anti-money laundering regulations. Know your limits.
Right? Cash transactions over 10,000 euros. Expect some serious scrutiny. Dealer due diligence, too, even for non-cash deals.
What about finding old coins? Like, with a metal detector?
Report it. It's the law. Archaeological finds belong to the state. You might get a finder's reward, though.
Cool. But counterfeits, that's a whole other can of worms.
Big time. Making them, selling them, even possessing them with intent to distribute, it's illegal. Know how to spot a fake.
Casting signs, weight discrepancies, that soapy look.
Exactly. And if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Stick to reputable dealers. Now, ethics. Authenticity, due diligence, treat others fairly.
Don't misrepresent what you're selling, right? And preserve numismatic knowledge. Support museums, societies.
Share your knowledge. Responsibly, of course. And remember, mining has an impact. Environmental, social.
Ethically sourced silver is a thing, right? Still niche, but growing.
It is. And finally, avoid the hype. No pump and dump schemes. Focus on long-term value.
Tangible assets. Real value. Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Stacking Insightful and, dare we say, valuable. Until next time, keep collecting, keep stacking, and keep exploring the fascinating stories etched in metal. And from me, a personal goodbye and thank you for joining us on this numismatic adventure. Happy collecting, everyone!